With the trailer of the upcoming Holocure update just recently released, I wanted to do what I did last update and recap all the publicly available teasers shown by KU and the official Holocure Twitter account. That means, no Discord teasers. Like last time, I wanted to cover the trailer and examine everything while adding more explanations from the Twitter teasers and compiling everything not shown in the trailer in the end with a bit of speculation in between. The first thing we see is Sora at level 1, already with an Ankimo. Why? Well, I'll cover that later. For now, you must take note that she is in a new spooky map just in time for Valentine's, the most horror-based holiday of the year. We also see some new additions to the UI compared to before, with the health now being displayed on the top right alongside being able to see the exact numerical amount. We also hear the Holocure rendition of Halloween Night. If you're Kazan it again, it is really good. Also, stream the original song, it is a really fun song. Now onto why Sora has Ankimo already while still in level 1. Well, that's because Holocure will be adding a following system that will allow us to upgrade our Oshis, giving them certain benefits. Those benefits being things like starting skills and having levels immediately at the start of a round. According to the post, the ways of upgrading it are G ranks, clearing certain stages with multiple times with the same idol, and clearing all stages with the same idol. The next thing we get is gameplay footage of the strongest idol, Hato and or Hachama. Here we see her main weapon being her big red heart, which seems to spin around her like the BL books. We also see a new weapon that looks like some kind of dark energy or something. I have no idea really, as well as her skills. Those being another big red heart effect that we see in the bottom left, though its purpose seems to show the player between which of the two you are currently playing as, Hato or Hachama, so it might not even be a skill in the first place. And the other icon, which is most likely a skill, is one that shows her head with a heart in the background that ticks up every second. We also see here our first look of the Hatons, Capomins, and a whole life fan that is healing everyone around him. We also see a Hato use her special, which changes her to Hachama, who instead uses big black hearts, which fire straight at the direction you are looking at while rotating those hearts. We also see the red heart on the bottom turn black, which I think confirms that it is an indication that Hato has changed it to Hachama, and her kit seems to mainly reference her Hato-Hachama coexist arc, so that is interesting. The first time we actually see Hachama was during the October 2022 Holocure Twitter teaser that was released, and from there we don't see anything different from the trailer. In fact, the trailer adds more things that we didn't know about her. But one thing to note is that we do see a new item, that being Kayla's sunglasses. Next is now the extremely familiar office level. We see Matsuri with a health value of 88, smacking some Sukonbo with an Ebifrion, which knocks them back. We even see this knockback effect working on the mini bosses, so that's pretty cool. We also see her special being a reference to the taiko drums we see in her intro. In her official teaser from the Twitter account, we see two new things. First is Towa's hat BB, as well as an achievement in the bottom right. Another more speculative fact is comparing Ebifrion from this level 6 to the one in the trailer, which is level 7. The final level might add the ability to knock back enemies, or at least a chance to. Next is Best Knock Subaru, who has a health value of 105 and uses a baseball that bounces on collision for her main weapon and a cheering cone for her special. We also see 2 or possibly 3 of her skills. We can see 2 in the bottom left, one being a sun, which could be a buff similar to Kiara's, and the other being a reference to the Ozora police, but more on that later when we get to the Twitter teaser. Then we also see a blast that emits from Subaru, similar to Sana's gravity skill. Onto the Twitter teaser itself, where we get even more information. First, we see Ozora Police, what the Ozora Police skill does, which arrests the rabid fans into their coke cages in a mechanic that is speculating here, similar to Okayu's Mogu Mogu, where it's devour fans but instead puts them in where they belong. We also see here a Potato PC stamp, but we'll get to the stamps later. Next is the Smog Garlic Shion, who has a health of 76 and uses a magic blast attack in a straight spread at level 6 with a special that seems to be based on the kick she did in the first Hololive alternative trailer. We also see all three of her skills, that being a magic that spawns a black hole, a skill that references her smugness, which is most likely the bubble around her as it doesn't show up before the skill icon shows up after the jump cut, and a garlic, though we don't know what it does. We also see some Orion Yanke here, as well as the Matsurisu. In the official Twitter teaser, the only important new information we get is the Usada Kensetsu stamp. Again, I will cover these stamps later alongside the potato one I skipped from Subaru. Next scene features Hip Queen Aki Rosenthal, with her main weapon being her flying twin tails that seem to move in a random behavior. And if you look at the bottom left part of the screen, you will see an icon with a hip on it with a 119-second timer or a counter that disappears, I think, when a blast is fired that seems to do high damage enough to kill everything on the screen, and is probably where most of her damage comes from. Meanwhile, in the Twitter teaser that showed Aki, we received a video showcasing another game mode where we have to save a certain amount of fans, presumably as quickly as possible, so basically like a speedrunner mode. In the next scene is Calli with her formal red dress, confirming formal wear outfits for Holomyth, and possibly even more outfits for the gamers and everyone else. As well as a possible showcase like the first scene of the Oshi system, in where we see a level 10 Calli again with 2 skills, though that one isn't as definitive as the Sora scene we have in the beginning of this trailer. We also see her in the stage 2 hard mode, which has a sunset theme. The next scene is Iris in her new 2.0 model or outfit, as well as a super feather and the new Kyla glasses that we saw earlier, and a new weapon that is a blue beach ball that falls down and drops on the top of the screen, kinda similar to the Tetris blocks of Suisei. The next scene is pretty hefty in information, but first we see a bit on the vampire Mel herself, which I'll cover more on later, but for now, all we need to know is that she has a bite for her main weapon. We also see here the super Chato time now having a timer, so that's probably nerfed. Now, let's also take a look at the stat page where we see a very cute character portrait sprites that we see, and it's, very cute. And finally, we also see in the background the 6-minute boss, a big Kapumin. And that should be everything of note in the upcoming... Okay, just kidding. That's a bad joke, but I had to try. So now we have the stamp attachments on our idol's main weapon. In Mel's clip, we see the slow stamp with the potato PC image and a weekend stamp with a flower image. We can also assume that these drops from enemies similar to the potato PC from Subaru's teaser, and this could also apply to the Usada Kensetsu from Shion's teaser and the Akukin Kensetsu band stamp and Marine Skull Mug, and many more we'll see later. In fact, to make things easier, a user from Reddit named Usopalain made a compilation of all the known stamps in his post on the entire update, which he finished a lot quicker than my script. So go check out his Reddit post. I'll link it in the description. It's very easy to read the whole thing if you can't be bothered to listen to me. But all the known stamps are the Attack Up stamp, a Bullet stamp, a Shishiro Night Goggles stamp, Potato PC, a Rainbow Super Chat, Akukin Kensetsu, Usada Kensetsu, Flower, Band stamp, Marine Skull Glass, and a pink and purple circle, as well as an unidentifiable stamp. We also see later on is the enchant system that adds more options when using the anvils, as well as in Mel's Twitter teaser we see a bit of her special, which is her getting banned as usual, as well as an item seemingly referring to Laplos from Holo X. In the enchantment Twitter teaser featuring Mel, so I did it here, we also see one of her skills, which is an Acerola juice. Next is the long-awaited achievements. We seem to have 46 of them, and a decent amount of them seems to just be clear a game with insert character. I hope there'll be more since that seems pretty boring. Correction, I took so long that we got more info from KU's tweets, and from there we learned that 46 we saw before in the trailer is probably just based on the character specific section, as a tweet today in February 4 showed that general achievement section, which has a total of 120 achievements. So yeah, there's more achievements. Again, I'm taking quite a long time. Sorry, I've been busy studying for an exam. So yeah, continuing on in the video. We also seem to get some rewards for completing them, which is a really good incentive for getting more players to complete these achievements. Besides just, people like Kayla and us who just want to grind out more stuff. Next is the shop improvements. First are the two new single-use upgrades that we see, most likely referring to the attachments and weapon enchants. We also see a new paper upgrade next to the anvil upgrade, as well as a your opinions, garbage upgrade, which is most likely this game's version of the banish system from Vampire Survivors. Then we also see improvements in showing that there are more upgrades than 5 in certain skills, compared to before where you just get the 5 and you can get it from blue to yellow. Next is a new collab between the Potato and Holobomb, which is the I'm Die Thank You Forever meme. We also see Choco Sensei here, which, like Mel, I'll touch on her pretty lightly until we reach the special attack montage where we see more of her. But here we see her main weapon, which is a syringe, and 2 of her skills, those being a pot and an apron. We also see her health, which is 52, and her beautiful stat sprite art. We also see in the background more enemies, those being the Shuba Duck or Subatomo, Aqua's fans in a cute maid uniform, I actually don't know what they're called, as well as the Shioko. Next is the Ojo Ayame with a health of 69. She has twin blades as her main weapon that at level 5 seems to attack both the front and the back. We also see at least 2 skills, one of which seems to be Fox McCloud's Reflect from Smash, and one being a Oni Mask that seems to increase in countdown per kill. We also see her using Noel's Night Cup as an item. Of course, we also see the amazing Shubagelion as the halfway boss for this level, which I am excited for. The Twitter teaser for Ayame mainly shows the new Super Sake for Super Alcoholics. Then, after a short ominous laugh from Pekora, we get to the special attack montage. First is a continuation from a special we saw earlier, but this time the other way around. Hachama turning back into Hato creates another horror special as well as a purple health bar that might be caused by an enemy or is a part of the Hato Hachama special, we don't really know. We also see as soon as the special is activated that the head with a heart disappears and is replaced by a shiny head with a golden heart background, before quickly returning to counting back up. We also see that the black heart turns back into the big red hearts. Oh, and among the enemies we see the Rosentai. Next up is a showcase of the Taiko of God. It is pretty obvious, but it causes damage every time the ring closes in like a rhythm game. Another interesting note here is Matsuri's meme face as a skill. As of now, we don't know what that skill does though. Next up is the Shy Onion Aqua. She even hid from the 0.5 trailer on Twitter. From the trailer, we see that she uses brooms for her main attack in a similar way to how Shion fires her weapon and uses her cat as her special. In the official Twitter teaser, we see again the blue ball and Noel's Night Cup, as well as 2 more of the stamps mentioned earlier, Akakin Kensetsu and a Rainbow Super Chat. Next is Subaru's special, which is a shout attack that damages and pushes fans away through sheer power. We also see here a Silver Yago, which also drops coins like the Golden Yago, though it probably has less health, or gives less, or maybe it doesn't drop a box, or maybe it's lesser than a Golden Yago. We don't really know, just know that it exists. And then after that is Shion's special. As soon as it is activated, Shion jumps high with a timer on the bottom left indicating her sick airtime that as soon as it finishes, drops her down dealing a ton of damage. Then we see the vampire special, how her main weapon works, and at least one of her skills. First, her special, which censors her out and puts a cross out over Mel and bans every fan that touches the ring, similar to Okayu's Mogu Mogu. We now also see how her weapon works, which creates two pairs of fangs that bite down on the fans in front of her. We also see a possible skill of hers that creates mini vampire bats that fly around her and damages those that they hit. And finally is Choco Sensei, whose special Bobas infatuates the fans and increases her crit damage and seemingly her healing. We also see how her max level weapon works, which fires 3 pretty big syringes in front of her that seemingly heals her every time she takes down a fan. There is also the pot skill in the bottom left that seems to causes an explosion within the orange bubble when it reaches 10, before again resetting and counting back up. In Choco Sensei's official Twitter teaser, we don't get any new info, just that we get to see again the new stage where we need to defeat a certain amount of fans in a period of time. We also see here in the trailer the penultimate boss of stage 3, which is a big Poyoyo, as well as another stamp, which is Sencho's mug. Before the trailer ends, I want to mention that the Holocure Twitter also showed a bunch of new graphical and HUD customizations, those being attack opacity and the ability to customize the portrait, the HP bar, and whether or not you will show the HP number. I also took so long to make this video that KU seemingly insinuates that there is way more things that were not shown in the trailer in a recent tweet. So that's something to be excited about. Oh my god, I need to finish this soon before the exams. Oh god, oh god. And then finally, the release date of February 10. I hope you found this video informative and tell me in the comments if I missed anything. Good luck to anyone who hasn't saved up a lot of holo coins in between then and now. Thanks for watching and have a good day.